All right, let's dive right into today's explainer. We're going to unpack a seriously powerful framework for building resilience and, quite frankly, surviving professional adversity. If you've ever felt like the sheer weight of leadership might just crack you in half, well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're exploring how true leaders don't just survive the hard times. They literally use those incredibly difficult moments to forge an unbreakable capacity for future success.
So we're pulling from Ryuho Okawa's book, Winning Strategies for Leaders. Now, the cover promises 13 weapons for producing results to help leaders create new value and really bring their organizations to life. But today, we're focusing all our attention on one specific, highly potent section, Chapter 8. This chapter is all about creating a resilient vessel, one that can withstand the fiercest adversity. It's not just about weathering the storm, it's about fundamentally changing how you operate right in the middle of it.
Here's our agenda for today. First, the leader's resilient vessel. Second, FDR, life without excuses. Third, the power of patience. Fourth, controlling your own desires. And finally, preparing for lasting success. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The leader's resilient vessel.
Okay, I want you to visualize your own leadership capacity as a literal vessel right now. Think of a bowl or maybe a jar. In Japanese, this concept is called utsuwa. It represents your internal capacity. We're talking about your emotional resilience, your ability to handle pressure, manage heavy responsibilities, and basically contain the chaos of adversity without spilling over or shattering. So when adversity inevitably hits, and we all know it will for sure, is your vessel expanding to hold that new intense pressure, or is it starting to crack? The core message here is that a strong vessel isn't something you're just born with. It's something you actively construct, especially when times are tough.
Moving on to Section 2. FDR, life without excuses.
The source brings up former U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt to show us that no matter how unfortunate your circumstances are, refusing to make excuses is the absolute key to overcoming hardship. Just think about FDR's life for a second. He faced severe physical paralysis while simultaneously having to guide a nation through the Great Depression and a global world war. The text points out that enduring a period of misfortune requires this steadfast commitment to a no-excuses lifestyle. Because think about it. When you stop making excuses, you stop leaking energy out of your vessel. You actually retain your power.
And this brilliantly illustrates the stark contrast between a leader whose vessel breaks under pressure and one who embraces adversity as a catalyst for growth. On one side, you've got the excuse-driven leader. When misfortune strikes, they point fingers. They blame the economy, their team, or, just bad luck. And by doing this, they remain totally stuck in their adversity. But on the flip side, the resilient leader, the one modeling that FDR approach, takes absolute extreme ownership. They don't complain about the misfortune. They look at it and say, okay, how does this make my vessel larger? They use the friction of those hard times to actively expand their capacity.
All right, Section 3, the power of patience.
I want you to really think about your last major setback for a second. When things went wrong, did you wait patiently for the tide to turn? Or did you panic, rush in, and actually dig a deeper hole for yourself? I mean, it's human nature, right? We want to fix things immediately when we're uncomfortable, but the source material provides a very sharp warning about the dangers of not being able to just sit with that discomfort.
The text is exceptionally clear here. It warns that impatient leaders, those who lack the endurance to wait for the right moment, are basically orchestrating their own downfall. It specifically notes that a person who cannot wait will fail. Why? Because hasty, panic-driven actions in the middle of adversity are literally the equivalent of digging your own grave. Survival isn't just about fighting, it relies heavily on the endurance to just wait. You have to wait for the right timing. If your vessel is weak, you're going to spill over with anxiety and rush things. But if your vessel is strong, you can hold that tension and wait for the absolute precise moment to act.
Let's look at Section 4, controlling your own desires.
Here are the actionable steps straight from the source. Step 1, you must first objectively know the true size of your vessel. I mean, you can't pour a gallon of water into a pint glass, right? You have to be deeply honest about your current limitations and capabilities as a leader. Step 2 is super fascinating. The text literally talks about folding away and controlling your desires and greed. When you're in a period of misfortune, you absolutely cannot afford to be greedy for immediate wins, praise, or profit. You've got to fold those desires up and put them away for now. And then step 3, you patiently endure the present. By knowing your limits and controlling that greed, your endurance actively builds your capacity, pushing out the walls of your vessel.
This brings us to Section 5, preparing for lasting success.
Notice how patience and self-control are framed here.
They aren't a punishment. They're the mandatory preparation required for your long-term success. The source explicitly states that this combination, knowing your current capacity, actively folding away your immediate desires, and using periods of adversity to quietly prepare, is the actual secret to making success last. Look, anyone can get lucky once. But if you achieve a massive success and your vessel hasn't been properly reinforced through adversity, that success will shatter you. The weight of it will just be too much. You endure the hard times specifically so you are structurally sound enough to hold the good times.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought to reflect on. Take a hard look at how you're operating right now. What condition is your vessel in today? Are you complaining about external factors, or are you actively patching and expanding your capacity? Are you rushing out of fear, or are you patiently folding away your immediate desires to prepare for the long game? Do the work now. That way, when the right moment finally arrives and success pours in, you'll have the capacity to claim it, hold it, and most importantly, make it last.